Wind don't howl, it whispers low, carries names that no one knows. 5 souls drawn from ash and sin, by a fire that waits for them. A preacher's doubt, a killer's hand, a song that cracks like cursed land. They ride where even devils run, and hear it now. Summer's coming.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Brian Mercer. I am here with Varamon, and today we are going to be doing a one-shot. This is Vairmon's adventure of Session 5. For anyone who watched Session 5, you know that Varamon was separated from the rest of the party halfway through and showed back up at the end. This is going to be the story of what happened to you in the middle of that, and I hope you're ready for it.
Sounds like fun. Let's get started.
So, kind of when you got separated from the group, you had taken a big blast, a fireball, like straight to the chest, protecting your cleric, Obadiah. You got blasted through the door into what you think of as the blue library, and once in there, the impact from the fireball collapsed the rubble, collapsed the wall that, you know, the door was. Like, you don't have a way back out through that way. You've been in this library very briefly before. The last time you were in here,
This was where I went to get my magical items from our entry earlier.
yeah, but you kind of did that in a rush in the middle of a fight, and as you're standing there, kind of looking at the rubble in front of the door, a large shadow kind of like takes over. And you turn around, and there is a giant serpent with the head of a cobra, wearing spectacles and a fez. And he says, "Oh my goodness, what has happened here?"
Oh, my apologies for the disturbance, but we were attacked out near the fountain again. I jumped in front of my ally to save him from a blast and got blown back into here. It was Isala, once again.
Sala, the snake sorceress?
Unfortunately, yes.
This is certainly terrible news.
I know. We had recently come into contact with the witch known as Rhea, who witnessed the events that took place before with the bridge made between the dwarves and elves. And she told us that we're all very much in danger. They're sacrificing children to try and resurrect the dragon Carax.
Rhea? He thinks long and hard, and then he slithers away quickly. A few moments go by, and he returns with a book. And he opens up the book, and he shows you an image of a Dwarven king who looks a lot like Kildrax. Alongside just this absolutely beautiful fairy, a nymph. And he says, Queen Rhea, is that of whom you speak?
That was the name, but that was not the visage I was presented with. I don't know. I don't know if it's the area she's in or the trying to maintain a low profile for some reason, but she was not presented as such.
He gives you a long look and says, your statue was back there. He slithers around you in a circle, taking a long look at you. Then he goes back to the book and flips a couple of pages, and he points at the picture of an elf, an elven bard. And he says, This was King Miru's best friend. And he bears a striking resemblance to you. Do you know of Aegon Snow?
Not immediately, but though I may have heard tales of it before.
Aegon Snow was the best friend of King Miru, given the name Snow because he was able to cool the tempers of any fight, any aggression, able to bring peace to the lands. It was his music that bound Vayake. It was his song that enchanted the caves. And you know nothing of his music? This is quite troubling indeed.
I've heard his music tales were legendary for sure amongst the elven kind, but wow, the resemblance to the situation is uncanny.
As you two are talking, you kind of are walking around the library, and you make your way back to the treasure room area, and you're like looking at the statues while you're talking. The Naga says, "It is very strange that King Miru does not have a statue in here himself."
I will admit that, yeah, that does beg the question as to why his visage is not present. I would think King Miru would be placed here for all to adore him or to recognize his great achievements.
It would make sense that a statue of Miru may exist on the lower levels. Dwarven culture, they see high as low. So, the lower chambers, if King Miru was to place something for himself, may exist down there. But beware. There is another that dwells down there. One whose sight turns a man to stone.
That does present an interesting challenge. I thank you for this information. I have to prepare myself against such a being if it comes to that.
I can tell you if your goal is to reach your friends, there is a pathway through the lower level that would lead up into the West Library, where my mate Sasara once roamed.
The one I was acquainted with earlier.
You've seen Sasara? Tell me she's okay.
I'm afraid I cannot give you that good news, my friend. Isala twisted your mate, stripped the flesh from bone, turned into a Naga Lich.
No. No! And he goes slithering down away. You can hear him crying in woe as this is devastating news to him.
If you wish, I would like to take a moment to sit with you, hang my head in remembrance, and sing a tune in honor of your mate.
He's kind of like stopped against a bookshelf and is just kind of leaning there, just crying. I'm sure if you wanted to play a song, that'd be fine.
I pull out my lute and I start playing a little, a somber but remembrance-filled tune. That it starts somber and it starts sad, but you get the sense that it's not to mourn the loss, but to celebrate the life.
Go ahead and give me a performance roll, buddy.
Recently, with my ability score improvement, I now have a charisma of 20, so this will be a +9. 26.
So, as you play, the sobs of the Naga almost start to match the rhythm and cadence of the song, and his breathing almost seems to take in the very essence of this music. And he makes his way slowly back to you, and he puts his tail kind of over your shoulders, almost like a friend would put their arm over your shoulders, and he lays his head on your shoulder and he says, "Thank you.
You are most welcome.
And you are most truly a reincarnation of Aegon Snow."
I am very honored with that distinction.
I wish you the best of luck in all of your travels. Please always remember my dear Sarah and play her song.
I place my hand upon his body and I say, "Not only do I promise to do that for you, but I will promise that I will find a way to make sure that vengeance is given and doled out for the atrocity that was given to her."
Thank you. All right, so you do know now that there is a path. So you can see the stairway that heads down.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one that does go up. So you're welcome to search. Keep hanging out in the library. You can keep talking to the Naga, but he, at this point, kind of seems like he kind of wants some time to mourn.
Before I leave you to your thoughts, are there any books or tomes in this library that might help me on my quest?
there are many books that could potentially help you. Roll me a percentage.
Ooh, percentile.
Yep.
76.
So he slithers away, and when he returns, he hands you 2 books. The first is a book all about Aegon Snow. The second is a tome of leadership and influence. Actually, I think it's gonna be in this one. I don't think you have this one. I thought you were gonna pop it online, but that's okay. So,
Leadership and influence.
this is a very rare, wondrous item. This book contains guidelines for influencing and charming others, and its words are charged with magic. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your charisma increases by 2 to a maximum of 30. The manual then loses its magic but regains it in a century.
You have my thanks, dear friend.
For your song, you have mine. All right. So where would you like to go?
Well, haste must be made, unfortunately, and I must leave you. So I will take my leave and head towards the door that I need to go to.
Okay, so you start heading down the stairs, is what you're saying? Alright, so these are, like, this whole place is honestly just immaculately built. Like, just, like, the finest stonework and masonry all over the place. And as you make your way down, there's, like, a giant, like, statue of a dwarf, and you kind of like make your way around the marble columning and down into a lower section of the library. This whole section is lit but dimly. You can smell like a mildewy kind of smell, as this area hasn't been entered by anyone from the outside, and hasn't been kept up by like the guardian Naga at all. There are rows of bookshelves creating long, vast hallways of books, and you can see that this huge cavernous room is actually a larger inventory of books and ancient Dwarven knowledge than either of the libraries that you were previously in.
Do I see a candle nearby, like a small candle that I can carry?
Sure, there's some like candles and lanterns all along the wall.
I go over to grab a lantern, and then I use my prestidigitation cantrip to create a fire in this lantern, so that way I have some light.
Sure. Okay. So nearby you, is going to be just regular light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then out away from you, 30 feet, it becomes dimly lit.
Yeah. No, I light the lantern and I, hold it up so that way I can see to guide myself.
Okay. Well, there's a wooden banister too, so you can also hold that to like kind of feel your way. Give me a perception roll with advantage.
12 and 13 plus. You said perception.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 6, so 19.
Awesome. As your hand as you're like walking along, right? You're walking at a fairly even pace as you're starting to move. Your hand is just like gliding across the banister, and you start to feel something funny. It's a rhythm. It's almost like you recognize this as almost like a beat, like a song beat. And as you're walking, you kind of start like clicking your fingers to this beat. You're almost moving in time to this beat, and it's like this is how it's always been for you. You're naturally always, but this is definitely not you. This is, you're feeling it, and it's continuous as you're going along. Somebody definitely intentionally put these grooves into the wood to be felt as a pattern.
I look at the wood on the banister that I'm holding.
Give me an investigation roll. With advantage. You're taking some time. You're looking closely at it. You're all alone too, I feel bad for you. That's 9.
That would be plus 6 would make it 18.
That's alright. So as you're looking at it, you notice that there are actually another set of grooves, okay, kind of on the other side of the banister, all the way down, except these ones, rather than being like up and down, horizontal grooves, vertical grooves, it's a set of 5 vertical grooves that span they seem to like go the entire length of the banister on the other side. And as you're feeling, there are other little spots that seem to be in between these, like they're like circle, like some are like harder grooved out spots, some are like softer grooves out spots, but marked in between at various spots all through this
like notes.
That's definitely how you were taking it. Yeah, I guess.
Because I feel this beat, this almost tune in my body.
Roll me perception real quick.
What's this place?
Disadvantage.
So, okay.
Yeah. Music you recognize quickly, but let's see what else you might notice.
Investigation, you said?
Perception right now.
Okay. That is a 12. 18.
Okay. So, while you're like kind of studying this, you hear a sliding motion coming from back and off to your left.
What was that? It sounded like something moving. Hello? 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 Is that someone out there? Is that someone out there? Is that someone out there? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Perception again, disadvantage.
What was it, 12? So perception 16.
Again, you hear a sliding motion, but this time it's off to your right. Still a fair distance behind you. You're not entirely certain if they heard you, if whatever it is heard your calls.
Hello there? Hello there?
You're calling louder now.
Is there someone there? Is there someone there? Someone there?
My turn. Nothing responds right away. You can keep investigating the banister if you want. You can go look around if you want. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna keep it, kind of switch between investigating the banister and then occasionally, if I hear another sliding motion, I'm gonna call out. Hello, is there someone there?
So as you move back, as you're investigating this banister, you go to one side and you can feel a symbol at the beginning that you recognize as basically the Elven equivalent of the treble cloth.
This is like sheep music. That's... It's almost as if this banister is like the representation of a tune. This is most interesting. My. Whatever is in this is of some pretty significant, high significance.
You are really engrossed.
This tune, it calls to me, but in a calm, peaceful.
Suddenly, a gust of cold wind blows out all the dim light around you.
Including my lantern?
No. Your lantern, the flame protected by the glass, is now the only light in this vast underground library.
Hello, is there someone there?
You should not be here.
I think back to the warning I was given. I'm holding the lantern, but I close my eyes. I know I am not meant to be here, but I was given instructions to follow the passage through here to get to where I need to go. I only stopped because this banister, I recognize the symbol at the end. In the feeling of this banister, it calls out to me like a tune. My bardic nature, this song speaks to me.
I have no interest in your nature. I only care of protecting Miru. And you, BAM, are going to be hit from the side. You drop the lantern. And you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the floor. let's go ahead and have some fun. That's right, buddy. I brought all sorts of toys to play with today. All right. So Varamon right here. This is not a snake guard though. You've heard about this. I'm sure you've already got a sense of what this is. Go ahead and say it.
It's a Medusa.
It's a Medusa. That's right. All right. So you have closed your eyes. This area is immediately around you, right here, is still lit. Okay, like this stretch of hallway is lit by the lantern that you just dropped, but is right here. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and put a dice right here to represent the lantern. Okay. And me and you, let's roll initiative. All right, a 6 plus 3 is 9 versus your 9 plus...
My, was it proficiency?
It's probably just going to be a plus 2.
Yeah, which is, plus 2, so it'd make 11.
Yep, so, you're going to get to go first, keeping in mind that you were starting off prone.
Okay, so my first idea is going to be to... Okay, so I was knocked from this down backwards, so I got to assume that the Medusa...
You were kind of like right here, and you were kind of knocked down to right there.
Okay. But judging from that, I know that the Medusa would be right around here.
Yes.
So I'm going to get up.
Okay. It's half your movement.
So 15. Grab my daggers. And right myself. That's smart. All right. Need to calm myself.
Give me an inspiration roll.
Inspiration roll? Heroic inspiration?
Or not sorry, I meant insight.
Insight?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm inspired. That's what I meant.
No. That's a 4.
That's a 4. You're not inspired.
That's
okay. That's okay.
Well, it would have been a plus 4 with that, so 8.
That's okay. I was just going to give you an idea, but, apparently I'm not.
Hold on. I am going to spend a luck point and use my lucky feat to...
Wait, you don't... You use the lucky feat when you miss something.
When you roll a d20 for a d20 test, you can spend 1 luck point to give yourself advantage on the roll.
Huh. Yours reads differently than mine, but okay. That's fine.
Alright, I am going to spend 1 of my 2 lucky points.
What are you rolling, though? You haven't said what you're rolling for. You just said that you're giving yourself advantage on it.
Okay, well, you asked me to roll for the... Insight.
Insight. Fair.
That would be a dirty 20.
A dirty 20? Alright, on a dirty 20, it's funny. You should be, really focused on the fact that you're being attacked right now, but you can't get this beat and melody out of your head that you've been focusing on. Like, as silly as it sounds, that seems to be taking precedence in your head right now over the fact you're being attacked.
Oh, how did the beat go? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. I can't. This beat is... I don't know what it is. It does things.
Let's see.
Give me a performance roll. I want to see if you think you could do this.
That is a 13 plus 9 for 22.
You're fairly certain, although you've never played this before. You're naturally talented with magic, or with music. That's always been your gift. And you think you could play it from memory right now.
I put away my daggers. I grab my lute. Eyes are still closed, but I start strumming notes, playing the melody in my soul, in my body. Like, it speaks to me, it calls me to play it. I can do this. So I pull out my lute and I start playing this melody that's in my head. This melody that I cannot seem to...
Roll performance with advantage.
I rolled a 1 and an 18, so I will be taking the 18 plus 9 for 27.
You feel a change, like almost a change in the pressure in the room as you're playing. Your eyes are closed still. The temperature shifts slightly. The humidity in the room shifts slightly. Everything in the room, you feel like your body feels the temperature and the like the room change. And you reach the end of the song. Are you opening your eyes?
Yes.
Standing in front of you is an elf wearing a blue cloak. The cloak almost looks like it's made of dragon scales. And she is smiling at you. And she says, "I never thought your plan would work."
I felt it.
So this elf in a blue cloak that appears to be made of dragon scales, she looks at you, she says, "I didn't think this could ever work." And she kind of pauses and looks at you and says, "You don't know me, do you?"
No, but now that I hear you speak, there's almost an air of familiarity.
She kind of laughs a little bit and says, "I don't know how many years it's been for you. I don't know what you know. But you were always the clever one. Almost as clever as your little boy." "Yeah. Your son. Carthax."
What?
You don't remember your own little boy? It doesn't matter. Our time together is short. It only lasts as long as the melody. You have to take this. He needs it. Your king commanded this. That's all you have to remember. And she picks up a medium-sized chest and she hands it to you. You have to give that to him.
you have to, and the melody ends. In a rush, you find yourself alone in the library again, back in dim light. The Medusa gone. And your lantern laying on the floor at your feet.
I go over to pick the lantern back up. I'm supposed to give this to him. But what is this? What is in this odd chest?
Do you want to open it?
I am first going to cast Detect Magic to see if there is any magical locks or placed on this chest.
Okay. Question for you. Are you doing this immediately, or are you casting this as a ritual? If you cast it as a ritual, then it takes 10 minutes, and if you cast it as an action, then you use a spell slot.
I'm going to go ahead and use a spell slot.
Wow. Okay.
So I now have 3 more level 1 spell slots remaining.
Okay. So you cast Detect Magic, and oh wow, do you see a lot? First of all, that entire banister that you were like checking out, that whole thing lights the fuck up like a fucking neon bar.
I knew there was something magical about that.
You can also see, upon like taking a closer peek at that there almost seems to be a long blue like line that like snakes its way down, almost reminding you of the Dragontail River. You know, just kind of giving you that inspiration. The detect magic, as far as other things around you. There are several books on the shelves that are all aglow with magic. As for the box in your hand, the box itself is not magic. The box itself is a box.
I'm going to attempt to open this.
With no problem. The box opens up, and you see a silver, very well-crafted, ornate crown inside this box. On top of the crown is a scroll with a wax seal punched into it, and it has an S that is like pressed into the wax.
Like a stamp.
Yeah.
S. Snow? Was this crown for Aegon Snow? Close the box.
Do you want to? What about the scroll? Do you want to take that out? Do you want to read it? Do you want to leave it in there? Like, what do you want to do?
Curiosity will get the better of me as a lore bard. So I will, before I go to close the box, I will take the scroll and see if I can read it.
Yeah, you can break the seal. It's no problem.
So break the seal, and I unwrap the scroll and try to read it.
So, what languages did you read?
Well, Common, Elven. How many languages do I have access to, though? That's my bigger question. Because I don't think I ever actually wrote down my languages other than Common and Elven, because...
I'll let you have one more.
Do I recognize the language on this?
Dwarven.
It's Dwarven, so Common, Elven, and Dwarven.
Okay. I don't think you're very good at speaking Dwarven. Why don't you go ahead and give me an insight roll on your Dwarven reading ability? Let's make sure that you can do this.
Insight or...
Yeah.
Insight or history, but...
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you pick. I'm nice. I'm a nice guy.
Either way, it's a +4. To a... Make it a 13.
Okay. So, what you read, you are able to read it with a 13.
Okay.
It's rough. It takes you a minute, but you definitely don't want to try and speak it.
Internal reading is words in my head.
Yeah. So it says, "You will not remember, nor shall I, but the song always plays again. The song of red, the song of blue, the song of lies, the song of true. The song of me, and the song of you. The song of kings, the song of Miru. We are his guide. He is our king. And only with them will you find the thing." You do take from this scroll that this crown belongs to the Dwarven King Miru. And as you walk through these halls, you see a statue of Miru, and you see the crown on his head, and you're sure of it at that point. This crown that you're holding is the crown of the Dwarven King. Who, like I said, every time you look at him, you're like, that looks just like Kildrax. That is weird.
Can you spell Miru for me?
M-I-R-U.
Chest containing crown for Dwarven King Miru.
As you make your way across, you reach the stairway on the other side, far side of the this giant library that goes upwards, and you hear a huge crash up towards the top.
Oh boy. I hope my compatriots are all right.
No, you can go up and look.
I'll try and make my way back to them as quickly as I can.
So
up the stairs.
You run up the stairs, and when you get up to the top of the stairs,
Mind you, I'm still carrying the chest with me.
Yep, you got the chest. You get up to the top of the stairs, and there at the top of the stairs, you're surprised to find a familiar sight to you, a room you've been in before. You're in the Red Library.
Oh no.
And go ahead and roll perception.
Thank God I got expertise in that. 28.
And you see the Bone Naga. And it is like coiling back and forth in front of the doorway. And as you listen, you hear it say,
She'll open the door and then I'll strike. She'll open the door and then I'll strike. She'll open the door and then I'll strike. This bone naga has not noticed you. What would you like to do?
I am going to attempt to hide because I'm familiar with the feeling of being wrapped by its bony body.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll. And like she hasn't noticed you at this point. I'll let you do this with advantage. There's plenty in here to hide behind.
12.
All right. So you jump behind a bookshelf there, and as you do, your hand like hits a book off the shelf, and it falls and slams onto the floor. And the bone naga whips its head around. Who is in my library? And you can hear it coming towards you. What would you like to do? It hasn't seen you, but it heard you.
Do I know what direction it's coming?
So like it's kind of coming from your back left.
So that.
So like you're here, and then there's like a bookshelf here, and you're kind of running this way, and it's like coming up this way.
I'm going to attempt to duck behind another bookshelf to get out of its sight.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth again.
17.
Okay. So you just as it's about to like crest the corner of this bookshelf and see you quick jump around the edge, and you're like pinned up against the edge of the bookshelf, holding this chest, just like trying not to breathe, and you hear it. It's bones clicking over the tile stone and moving closer. You can hear its soft hiss in the background as it says, "I know you're here. You cannot escape Sassara." It's getting closer to you again. It's about to like come up. You can hear it. It's getting pretty close to the corner you're hiding behind.
Okay, and where is the door that I need to
So
get out?
the doorway's like over here.
Going to attempt to keep trying to evade this and hide my presence as much as possible.
Okay.
Are
we still just doing stealth rolls? Like, are we gonna try and use magic? Like, what do you want to do?
I am going to cast the spell.
We're gonna cast the spell. What are we casting?
Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. What does that do?
One creature of your choice that you can see within range hears a discordant melody in its mind. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away from you as it can, using the safest route. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage.
Okay.
Cast Dissonant Whispers on the Bone Naga.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom saving throw.
(11 plus 2 is 13.
And then my spell save DC.
Yep.
15.
So I fail. The spell hits her. How much damage?
3d6.
All right. I'm gonna actually have to roll damage. I can just keep it.
9 points of damage.
All right. She rocks back, shakes her head, and she immediately
runs away down the stairs that you just came up, and as she's going down, right, you hear another sound from outside the room, out in the main chamber. The sound of a giant bang, as you hear. It almost sounds like metal clanging against rock.
There's a battle happening out there. I feel it.
You hear Lucian's voice. Oh my God! Be careful!
My compatriots, I have to hurry. I make my way as quickly as I can towards the door using the quickest route.
So you get to the door and you're trying to open it. It's a little stuck. Go ahead and give me a strength throw. I'll give you advantage on this.
I still have a point of a heroic inspiration because I might need it.
Okay.
Because
That's always there too.
I have a -2 on my strength. And he said advantage?
I'll give you advantage on this.
12.
12 is not enough to open the door.
Damn it.
You pull at it for several minutes. It's not budging. As you look down at the handle, you see a small blue gem embedded into the handle of the door. And it kind of makes you, it reminds you of the same color blue as your ocarina.
Quickly set the chest down right next to me, pull out my ocarina. I'm going to play just a few notes.
Of what?
Tune a little quicker pace, and it's almost has an aggressive tune or sound to it.
All right.
Just judging by the fact of what the room I'm in.
Go ahead and give me a performance. This is gonna be really high. This is really high. So just so you know.
Ooh, okay.
This is 25.
That does not work.
It does not work. Okay, so you play this like little jaunty tune. That doesn't do anything.
Blue gem. Do I notice anything else about this handle?
You can roll investigation.
11.
There seems to be the emblem of a dragon embedded into the doorknob.
I can take a wild hunch, reach into my pouch, and I grab that water stone. I'm just going to hold it in my hand as I attempt to open the door. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the hell.
As you pull out the stone and you're like holding it there in your hand, you see it glow lightly. And the stone in the door seems to glow lightly too.
I'm gonna touch it to the stone.
You move the stone in your hand and you touch it to the stone in the door, and all at once you see a flash erupt through the door, and you look up and you watch the red gem that is above the door and turn to blue, cleansing the door of its properties, and it swings open, and there are your friends there in the chamber in front of you, with a couple of dead snakes in a spider web. Asala lays dead on the floor. There's a giant puddle. Like, everyone looks very beaten up, especially Obadiah. He's being handed, Kildrax is handing Obadiah a health potion to try and help him. And that's the end of our private session.
Take the
As
cemetery.
you guys are looting after a long fight, you take a good 30 minutes to rest, to catch your breath,
Mm-hmm.
and are shocked when you see the doors to the what you think of as the red library open, and out walks Varamon.
Oh.
Holding a medium-sized chest under his arm.
Oh.
And he looks at you and goes, "You wouldn't believe the fucking day I've had."
Oh. I look at Vairmon and be like,
Continue, Brian.
And then he walks over to Kildrax and he says, "Someone wanted you to have this."
oh.
I open the chest.
Inside the chest, you find a silver crown. It has no magical properties. And Varamon looks at you and says, "I was told to inform you. This is the crown of Miru."
Ain't that Rhea's last love?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to stop for the night.